Since last year, Supreme Master Ching Hai graciously allowed our association members to gather for international seminars. They were joyous occasions as Master and disciples reunited to meditate and pray for peace. During our visit to meet with our association members, Supreme Master Ching Hai also spoke of the teachings of past masters and answered the spiritual questions of fellow initiates. Throughout the ages, compassionate, enlightened masters have urged people to surrender to the greater universal power by seeking the divine within, from which all other goodness and happiness follow. This message was echoed again in Supreme Master Ching Hai's 7-part discussion, The Higher Duty of Enlightened Masters, with our association members on December 15, 2008.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Now we continue, yes. And you have imagined changes and help and lessons which have not taken place. The changes, the help, the lessons, however, are there. Yes. Now find out what they really are. If you go on thinking and doing what I told you to do and what I told you to think, then you are working with yesterday's materials, which have already been used. What does that mean again, wise Buddha?
Because if you follow a master and you think, she tells you to do something, you begin to use your mind, you begin to compare. You are not 100% following it.
Yeah?
Yes. Because once you use yesterday material, which means already digested from somebody else, not new now. When you are listen to the master, it should be at the present and do things at the present. At that time, you are innocent. You learn directly. But if you already use whatever digest yesterday is useless.
It's difficult to explain this, I know. Yeah. You see, all this is fake, yes? Due to the person not diligently practice, yes, to connect with their own inner Supreme Master. And just trying to follow theory. Yeah. And sometimes very tiresome, I'm telling you. Yes, truly. Because the way you interpret what the Master said sometimes is all wrong. Because you like to interpret that way.
Could be maybe that the situation is very changed.
Yes.
So if a master came and the master says something,
yeah,
people still do it many years ago, many years to follow.
Yes.
The situation is very different.
Different now also.
So, and they keep on doing
yeah.
way.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Like I remember once you said that Mohammed said,
Prophet
okay,
Muhammad.
you
Yes.
can have more than one wife.
Yes.
Because the situation
Yes.
was that way.
Yes.
If we're still doing that, the situation is different.
Yes. You are Muslim, by the way? No? How you know all that?
You told?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you look like a Muslim also. Yes. If you are Muslim, you understood this. Nah? When the Prophet was alive, they were persecuted, you see? And many men, because in defense for their family and children or brothers and sisters initiate, have perished. So many widows were left with many children without father, you see? So the Prophet said, take them in under your protection. Love them just like you love your wife. So not necessarily that you take in the wife and the family and you treat her as a wife, but take in just like another wife, but maybe don't have any physical relationship with her even, not necessarily like that. Or maybe you have, but it depends, you see? Not because you take her in just because she's pretty or because you lust after her and you need another wife. It's not like that. It's just because she's a widow and nobody takes care of her. And you know, in a Muslim society, most women don't work. right? Any Muslim here? Tell me if it's correct.
No, they don't.
Yes. So the thing is, because many widows are left after the man has lost his life to defend for you. In the time of Prophet Muhammad is different. You know how they have been persecuted. Many masters have been persecuted, life after life, like that, any country. So the Prophet always have to run even, everywhere, and hiding. And his disciples also, yes. Sometimes they cannot even cook in the daytime, they have to cook only at night and all that. Yes, it could be because at that time, during the festival, Ramadan means the birthday of Rama. Perhaps the Prophet Muhammad has learned with Rama at that time. He's a big master, Rama. And on his birthday, thousands of people gather, to celebrate. And then, of course, in such a big gathering, they have to hide. They cannot openly cook in daytime and, go shopping and all that and, spread everything out like this. So only eat at night. Yeah? Yes. At night is safer. Yes. And all day they can meditate or listen to discourses, in quietness. But if they cook, the smoke comes out, you see? You cannot hide the smoke. Maybe you can hide people in caves and all that if you're quiet. But when you cook thousands of people like that, when the Prophet was alive, maybe tens of thousands of people come to celebrate the birthday of the Grand Master. Rama was one of the Indian greatest masters. So when the Prophet was alive, many men lost their life, sacrificed to protect the Master. Not that the Master asked, but in the run, you see? They probably have to stand behind to stop the enemy or something, and they perish. Or they just stand behind voluntarily, yes, to protect other brothers and sisters who run before them, yeah, and somebody stay behind. And that's how they lost their life, and mostly men stay out, and risk their life for the group and for the Master also. Prophet Muhammad never tell them to go out and fight anyone, never. But he said that if you die for the just cause to protect the true Dharma, then you go straight to heaven. That's correct. If you happen to die, he didn't mean you go out and die and then you go to heaven. Or go out and even kill others and then you die and then you go to heaven. It's not like that. That's a quite misunderstanding of a real gentle, loving, compassionate Master. You see, just like many people who just cling to the past teaching of the Master, yeah, just a one or two sentences. They don't even read the whole story or the whole Bible or the whole sutra even. It's just one or two sentences and keep arguing all the time. Jesus eats fish, for example. The words can be translated differently, of course, fish or condiments, accompaniment with bread, maybe even grapes or raisins, grapes. But they insist as is fish, and the other meaning don't care, If the word have two meanings, at least you have to consider, maybe fish, maybe not, you see? Maybe the accompaniment, when you eat bread, you eat with something else. Dates or something like that in the desert. The Arabian people, they eat bread with dates, Maybe like that. The accompaniment, yeah? But no, has to be fish. Even if the word means two. So you see, you just interpreted the word of the Master or even the action of the Master the way you want it, just to suit yourself. And use the name of Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever, to oppress everybody else who don't listen to you. And that's how fanaticism has been born. And then from that, holy war has been waged. Innocent people have died, suffer. And the bystander also suffer. And the one who has been influenced by your misinterpretation also suffer and have to carry their bad karma with it.
I learned so much from you just now because I came from a Muslim family.
Yes.
And for the longest time, I didn't know Ramadan was the birthday of Rama.
Dan means birthday.
And we have 40 days of fasting,
yes.
right? And we eat at night. And we eat nothing during the day, all day long. I didn't know that. And I think the important thing that you just taught us is the misinterpretation, because I came from a family that didn't like Hinduism.
Yes.
And so for them, they think Ramadan cannot be associated with a Hindu god,
Yeah.
which they think Rama was.
Right.
So that's so true about the misinterpretation. All my life I thought that, until this moment.
Oh.
Now I
I'm glad.
learn. Now I know it's not.
I'm glad that I
Thank
answered
you,
your
Master.
question unknowingly. I'm just telling this Muslim, you know. He look like a Muslim, you know. Yeah, that guy there, yeah. So I just tell him, you know. And luckily, by the way, you understood. It is possible that Prophet Muhammad learned with Rama, the master, you see, at that time. Of course, many masters went to India and learned from there. I also went to India to take the key. Jesus also went there during the missing 13-year gap in his life. Yes. Later they have proven it somewhere in another book that he has gone to India and learned. Okay? But never mind. Even if you don't understand, it's okay too. Yes. It just know that I don't teach anything different from Prophet Muhammad, and I don't ever teach you anything extreme, anything harmful to yourself or anybody, and that should be sufficient also. There is so much to explain from the past master. I would never be finished. It's just, by the way, now and again, if we have a chance, and I tell you, many things we misunderstand because we were not there. Number one. Number two, we are not his level. We don't understand what he's doing. You see, he listened to the sound. He go into the cave, and the angel Gabriel come to him. You know that? He sit there and listen to the sound. Of course, he see vision and all that. Same Mary Master. You see, during the time of Prophet Muhammad, of course, he was such a humble master, so he would just celebrate his master's birthday. Since he learned in India, he would not stay in India, but he come home, maybe as his master behest, to go home and spread the teaching and teach his brothers and sisters, you see? Or maybe he just went home because he went there and studied and he can't stay forever, and he went home. Just like you come here, visit me, and then you go home, yes? And then after you meditate for a long time, even though you have not seen the master, but you contact inside because of your purity, and then the master come and tell you. But maybe he could not say that my master come to tell me. Or maybe master send the angel Gabriel is also correct, everything correct, yes? To tell him that, okay, it's time for you to go out now, and don't sit in the cave forever. You have to go out and help your brothers and sisters to become enlightened. It's okay, you have my permission, you see? And it's such a long distance between maybe Iran and India. You cannot just come back and forth all the time. And if the master told him, spread the teaching in Iran, then that's where he would spread the teaching, despite all the danger surrounding him. Every time a master come out, it's danger, no matter what age. It's something people feel like strange, because they always establish a religion. You see, when Prophet Muhammad was alive, they chased him everywhere. They persecuted his followers who has done nothing wrong, but to worship in purity and learn righteousness, even as a human being. They never did nothing wrong. They persecute them everywhere, and then they have to hide everywhere. Don't even have home and all that. And nowadays, big mosque everywhere. Millions of people come. Look at the wall. And when the Prophet was alive, it's very difficult for them to even come to see him once a lifetime. That's why they say once a lifetime you must go to Mecca. Mecca is when the master established finally at that time. Maybe he has not been able to stay long. Later he has to move to Medina and so on and so forth. And persecuted all the time. Even Baha'i, the master of Baha'i also been persecuted and put in prison and all that, etc., etc. Not safe everywhere. If you want to gather in such a big gathering, the master, of course, would not celebrate his birthday. In the Muslim tradition, you don't mention the Prophet's birthday and celebrate his birthday. But Ramadan, yes. Why? Because when the master was alive, he was so humble. His master was probably still alive, Or even after his master died, he still celebrates his master's birthday. That is a tradition in Hindu also. If a person come out, or the master just died and he become a successor, normally he would just always say, my master said that. My master said this. My master was great. Just like Mir Laruba. You remember? Yeah, that is a tradition. The humility of the master. Yeah? Or he would say, if the master is not there, or it's not convenient to mention the master, or the master may be not as high as yourself, then you would probably say God or heaven or, divine blessing, something like that. Rarely you mention it's yourself, but unless among disciples, and when the disciple asks a direct question, Master, you stopped my car and all that, then maybe you say, we make fun out of it, But it's not like the master always feel so proud and greatness within himself, declaring it. Not in such a, pompous manner, anything like that. Now you understand, yeah? So he celebrates Ramadan because that's his master.
This is wonderful.
Thank you, harmonious viewers, for being with us for today's episode of Between Master and Disciples. Join us again next Monday for the conclusion of the higher duty of enlightened masters. Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants, is coming up next after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. We bid you farewell and God bless.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/BMD.